think black metal was dangerous in the early 90s when the medias were focusing a lot on it, on doing stories, you know, about like we got Satanists in our towns, and how black metal was this new thing coming from nowhere, like from the underground, like just going up and being dangerous. I think it's stopped kind of being dangerous when it kind of got silly. When it started, like, there was a turning point, and I think that turning point is kind of at hand now too. Because there's a limit when things are dangerous as to changing real things, and when black metal is dangerous as a kind of criminal thing, you know. I don't consider burning churches or like violent acts, so that's not really dangerous. That's just another act which gains more sympathy against these sorts afterwards. But in the beginning, with Mayhem, Dark Throne, and all these bands, when they were coming up, and the lyrics and the image and everything was like really threatening. Not threatening against like buildings, like churches, or your physical safety or something, but when black metal goes in and says something about values, and because that's dangerous, to change values. In the popular culture, the mass culture, religion, everything is focused down on saying you have no self-worth. You're just one dot in the big picture, you know, or you're a brick in a wall, to steal a phrase. That's what black metal is about, or extreme metal, or every kind of extreme expression of art, I think, is focusing towards this, on making up your own mind and actually being that every person becomes their own center of the universe, and it's true for everybody. It's a paradox. I am the center of the universe. The next person next door is also the center of the universe, but it depends on the angle from where you see it. I think it's I think that everything will eventually defeat its own purpose. That's kind of like in the cards or whatever. There can't be anything, because that's okay. That's me being spacey, but that's the nature of the whole thing, you know. Coming into existence kind of is signing a contract of going out of existence at some point. But I think that the problem is that black metal or extreme art reaches, it's so ironic, it reaches a point where you have so many supporters of this individuality that the supporters themselves becomes, you know, the enemy or whatever. It's stupid, and I'm not saying that the way we're thinking or our goal is to maintain some kind of eternal struggle for individuality. It's simply we have the chance to keep it up a little longer before we defeat ourselves, and this is too soon. It's too soon to become pop culture or mass culture. Well, black metal's lost. It's going from being the thing outside people's house. If you see society as a family inside a house, and you see black metal as something outside that, black metal is going from being the eerie sounds or the strange thing you see through the window. You see a glimpse of something and it passes by, but it makes you feel uncertain about something, makes you think. And then black metal takes this and uses the opportunity to become the fucking clown in the center of the living room. To be jumping around with the fangs and, you know, taking everything outside and being such an obvious threat that people get fucking used to it. It's like going to the zoo and looking at predators or whatever, you know. It's like if you go for it and being on exhibition for a long time, you know, people stop being afraid of it. You start being an item. And that's what I'm afraid black metal is. If they keep up this circus attitude, you end up having people going to black metal to have a little scare and then going back and feeling all comfy. It's like we could be hurting you, we could be changing things, but right now we'll stick to entertain you. That's the problem. We're entertaining, we love getting money from what we do. We like to show ourselves off or whatever, you know, we like to wear strange clothes, whatever. But we could be dangerous, you know. Never Stop the Madness campaign is kind of old. It was started out with Death Like Silence. I think they did it in like 92, 93 or something on their albums. It has, it's coming from the, you know, the Road Runner, or Road Racer, whatever, all these companies, you know, Sepultura and all that. The American label, they had this positive youth campaign, you know, with like a forbidden sign, the, what do you call it? The shot, the thing you take your hits with, you know. Die Spritze, I know it in German.
Needle.
And it was needle. Hey!
Hey, there you go.
And it was like, stop the madness. And they had like words about like kids are drowning by thousands in this horrible sea of drug madness. And of course the Norwegian black metal scene, I thought, okay, this is something good to grab hold of. And of course they turned it around and it was Never Stop the Madness. So they had this forbidden sign kind of thing. And I know, yeah, like Gorgoroth Mysticum, they had it. Mysticum even had a great slogan called, "Don't control the drugs, let the drugs control you." And I think the irony is so obvious in the whole thing. I actually know this from first hand, that the people behind this thing, there was nothing they disliked more than junkies or people being totally addicted or whatever. There's an irony to it. And if people don't get the irony and they go out and get addicted or whatever, I think they had it coming anyway, you know?
There's also a big like a big part of this is negative knowledge, that we are very negative people, and also individualism is also seen as a negative thing, but I don't know, truth hurts maybe, I don't know, but this is I don't know what Eva said about drugs and politics and religion, and like in seeking the mysteries and seeking the knowledge is seen as a negative thing if you're not an individual. If you're not an individual, then you're a complete sheep that is controlled and you don't have any knowledge. That knowledge is a negative thing, and this is negative music in some sort of way, but negative only because it is true, and it seeks paths that are like negative, but
I think it lies in the words too. Never stop the madness. It's beautiful actually. Never stop the madness. Like, stop the madness. What kind of fucking slogan is that? Like, stop the madness. It's like madness is what we got. That's it. That's what left. We're so clinical and fucking white sheet, white walls, white coats. You know, like, what to do is, like, the world wants to get rid of the madness. What's supposed to be left then? Like, nobody took notice that, like, the great masters or whatever, like Da Vinci, Van Gogh, Einstein, all these guys were fucking crazy. Beethoven. It's like, where's the world supposed to go? Everybody's like, okay, I really need to get up, have a piece of bread, a cup of coffee, go to work from 9 to 4, then go back home, drive my kids to football, and then go to sleep. And like every 14th day, I have sex with my wife or my husband, whatever. And yes, this is the solution. The world is going to evolve forever through this recipe. It's like, please never stop the madness. Don't do it, because if we stop the madness, we're going to be dead in like 300 years. 3,000, I don't know. Guess I fucked up on the estimate there, sorry. I think it's important that if you talk about kids as people being receptive for messages and stuff, is giving them the message they can actually choose. I think it's not enough things to choose from today. That's total oppression. If you're a kid or you're trying to orientate yourself in the world today, there's a couple of messages out there, you know. If you're a girl, okay, put on as little clothes as possible and get fucked as many guys as possible. If you're a guy, be an asshole to the greatest degree you can. Go out, get a job, earn as much money as possible. You get friends, talk as much shit about your friends as possible. You hear rumors, spread them as much as possible. And for yourself, think as little as possible. Do never question where you are, you know. And that's, if you could get, I'd love it if some guy, girl, kid, grown up, whatever, got into the music and the lyrics and that made that person stop up and think. Even if the thought is, I think the lyrics are bullshit. I think these guys are full of crap. That's even a statement. That's good, as long as they don't go for this. Okay, let's be like everybody else. When you see so many people feeling that their lives is built upon just living, you know, and you see, especially, okay, Norway is a good example. We have, along with Japan, we have the highest suicide rate in the world, and that makes me feel like there's something very wrong. And when there's something very wrong, you need something very opposite to that. And that's why black metal needs to be threatening through the world to the world order. Simply because the world order is not something we wish to maintain. I would say that if we use corporate language, Enslaved has, and everything I do has, an absolute mission statement. And it's very simple. We wish through a secret conspiracy to overtake the world.